Noswaith Da, good evening and welcome to this live Coleg Cambria StreamYard event. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're really glad you've come to this. And tonight we're going to be talking about all things inclusion. So we've got a great event planned for you. We've had some questions in already so that we'd like to answer throughout this evening. But we'd really like you to be involved too. So please do send us your questions, use your media device and send us in your questions and we will endeavour to answer them. But don't worry, if we can't answer them, we will get back in touch with you tomorrow and we will be able to provide the answers to hopefully all the questions you ever had or some of those that you never even thought to ask. So before we start, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Lizzie Stevens. I'm Head of Inclusion at Coleg Cambria. So I'm responsible for equality and diversity, learning support, specialist support, and mental health and wellbeing. And I'm going to introduce you now or pass you over to our panel. Our panel of experts are all here to chat with you this evening. So I'm going to start with Alice. Alice, would you like to introduce yourself?
So hello, my name's Alice and I'm the Equality and Diversity Coordinator. So that means I support students with anything related to equality and identity and things like that.
Thanks, Alice. Sean, you're next on my screen.
Hi, I'm Sean Finnegan. I'm one of the specialist additional learning needs tutors in the college. I'm based at D-Side site. We support learners with additional learning needs, and there's a couple of my colleagues like Miranda who will speak in a little bit.
Thanks, Sean. Welcome to this evening. Nia, can you introduce yourself, please?
Good evening, everybody. My name's Nia and I'm one of our learning support coordinators. So my job is to make sure that everybody gets the support they need so that they can settle to learn while they're in Coleg Cambria. I can help you with all things to do with transition, any reasonable adjustments, making sure that we've all got the right support we need, and also taking care of your wonderful learning assistants who can help you on your Coleg Cambria journey.
Oh, thank you, Nia. Passing on to Miranda, please.
Hiya, I'm one of the ALN specialist tutors and I'm based in Yale. And I do the same thing as Sean. We work with students with additional learning needs and helping them with their academic side of their work and make sure that they can access their education.
Thanks, Miranda. Moving swiftly to Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm the autism mentor that covers Yale, Bersham and Shears Fassy. I work with students that are transitioning to college for the first time or from a different site, and then also offering check-ins and support them to build their individual strategies of how to cope with college and day-to-day life.
Thanks, Josh. And last but definitely not least, Carly.
Hi, so I'm Carly. I'm the Mental Health and Wellbeing Transition Officer. I work across all the sites and I help learners that struggle with mental health transition into the college by offering one-to-one support and bespoke transition plans.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Carly. So this is our panel for this evening, but it's only a very small part of what we do here at Coleg Cambria. So why is inclusion so important? We are absolutely passionate at this college about making sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to access their education. Not just access it, but really enjoy it and get the very best experience whilst they're here. So we've got a huge team across the college sites, and we are able to meet to work with you to support you with any needs you might have, and to support you emotionally if you require that support as well. And we've got some questions that have been coming in today that we can ask, but I'd just like to remind you all, it's really important if you want to ask anything, we're really happy to have any questions coming in from you. Please do type them in, whatever's worrying you, or just if you want to know a little bit more about what inclusion means at Cambria or any of these roles that we've discussed this evening. But once you're thinking about your questions, if we have a look at some of the questions that have already come in earlier, the first one that we've had through is, what support is available for LGBTQ+ students? Alice, I think that one's very clearly sits with you.
Yes, thank you. So obviously we do a lot of things to support the LGBTQ plus community here, and we have quite a strong community of students that identify as LGBTQ plus. So part of my role is offering one-to-one advice and guidance to those students, working with you on issues, be it to do with what it means to come out at college, to help with like name changes or pronouns, for example. We also have an LGBTQ plus society that exists online and in person, so you don't necessarily have to come in if you're feeling a bit anxious. There's online spaces where you can meet other members of that community. We also have gender neutral toilets across all of our sites. We give our pronoun badges to everybody on our reception, so everyone can kind of be open, expressing what pronouns they'd like to use, and to help staff understand how they can talk to you. And on top of that, most of our staff have undertaken LGBTQ plus training, so they've had support understanding what that means to work with LGBTQ plus learners.
That's great, Alice. So if a learner did, for example, want to get involved in the club or one of your other clubs, maybe, how would they find out about that if they're joining us in September?
So once they join in September, you will probably see me around on induction, as well as you'll see our student voice team who'll be around at our Freshers Fair. So if you get in contact with one of us, we can navigate you to the relevant club for your site. But equally, you can just pop me an email, equalityanddiversity@cambria.ac.uk, so we can talk about where's the best site for you and what you can do going forward.
Brilliant. So as Alice said, if you do have any questions, or if you'd like some support before you even come into college, if you want to come and talk to us about how it's going to be for you, then please do get in touch with Alice. It's equalityanddiversity@cambria.ac.uk. So moving on to one of the other questions that came in earlier. This is a good question, actually. What type of learning support is available? That's quite a big question because it probably covers an awful lot of what we do here in inclusion. But I'm going to start with Nia. Nia, can you talk about learning support in class and wider, please?
I sure can. Thanks for your question, everybody. Our learning support team is quite a big team. I think we've got a team of about 75 learning support assistants, and they work across all of our sites and across all of our curriculum areas. So if you are applying for an entry or a level 1 course, the learning support assistants will be in your class, and they can help you with kind of breaking down tutor instructions, making sure you've understood the sessions, picking up on those kind of gaps that you might not want to necessarily ask for if you haven't understood anything. We also offer kind of targeted support. So if you're looking at a higher level course, but perhaps you've struggled with some things in school, we can make sure that you're getting the right support there. We are round and about all the time. You will see us, and we'll introduce ourselves to you when you join us in September as well. We can signpost you to Sean and Miranda's team in terms of specialist support, so you might need some help there, so we can signpost you there. We've also got other teams like the academic skills team who will be working out of your library areas, whichever site you choose, and they can help you with things like assessments, assignment writing, those kinds of skills as well.
That's brilliant. Okay, so that's an awful lot of support that's available. I think the important thing is, isn't it, Nia, that if somebody has any support needs whatsoever, what the best thing to do is come and talk to us. And if you don't want to send your question in this evening, or if you want to know more, then you can contact us. And you can contact us on learning.support@cambria.ac.uk. That is learning.support@cambria.ac.uk. And it's just very kindly just popped up on the bottom there for you. Get in touch with us. You can come in, can't you, Nia, and have a chat to us?
You sure can. That would be great. And we can get a better understanding of any support you may have had in school, or any support that you might have needed but not necessarily felt comfortable enough to ask for, you can come in and have a chat with one of our team, and we'll make sure that we can signpost you. Even if it's not necessarily our team, we can signpost you to somebody that is, and just make sure that you get the support you need so that you can really concentrate on your studies.
That's brilliant. Oh, thank you, Nia. So yeah, please do get in touch with us and pop in, and please don't worry, because we do have a huge amount of support available in the college. So actually, quite linking, another question that's just come in: do I have to disclose my additional needs? Miranda, would you be able to answer that one, perhaps?
Yep. Great question. We got a lot of students who do come in who don't feel that they want to disclose any additional learning needs, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to tell us about those needs that you might have, but it's definitely something that can be really beneficial to you in your time at college. It helps us to be able to support you if you need it. You might not need any support with your course, but if you forewarn us and let us know, at least we can be prepared. And then, you know, if you are having any difficulties, at least we're prepared for that and we can step in. We can also make sure that any teachers that you've got know about those difficulties or barriers. They can remove them in the classroom and be prepared. It's really useful for your tutors to know what benefits you, what helps you, or situations that actually might cause you more discomfort or more anxiety. So the more you tell us, the more we can help and put things into place so that you have a much nicer experience of education. But you don't have to tell us. It does just help us to help you.
Absolutely. And again, when you're on programme, there's so many people in the college. When you start at Coleg Cambria, there's so many people who you can talk to. You do have your progress coaches, you've got your course tutors, and you've got lots in the wider team of inclusion. We've got wellbeing assistants and all sorts of people. So there's lots of people that you can talk to if you feel uncomfortable talking about your additional needs. However, I will also add that here at Coleg Cambria, we do celebrate neurodiversity. We love the fact that not just our learners, but all of our staff are all different. We've all got things that, we've all got things that we really celebrate and some things that we struggle with. And that's how we want it to be. We want it to be a very diverse environment here at Coleg Cambria. So, I think you'll find once you join us that you'll feel less and less nervous about celebrating who you are. So, have we got any questions coming in? Oh, there's one here. How can I get involved with equality and inclusion? Well, Alice, I think you've kind of answered that one, haven't you? But is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, there's so obviously we have our equality and diversity clubs and societies that you can get involved in, but we also yearly elect student officers related to equality and diversity. So we have I think minority student officer, an LGBT student officer, a ALN student officer, disability student officer, and probably a few more that I may have just forgotten. So there's loads of different ways that you can kind of get involved. We also have a lot of students that work with us on various projects. So if you want to get involved and kind of have your voice heard on an issue you really care about, there's loads of opportunities to do that.
And is that for everybody, whether you're, say, for example, if you're in our Cambria University Centre, so working at one of the higher education programmes, is that available there as well?
Yeah, any student is free to come and get involved with our projects. I think one of our student officers is a mature students officer. So if you are in HE and you really want to get involved in that, then there's options for you to do so.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Alice. Josh, I think this one is probably for you, and it's very clear from you've got on screen there, Autism Mentor, in case we forget. So we have got somebody, and thank you for this question. How do you support people with autism or autistic people?
Yeah, so with our autistic learners, like Nia and Miranda said, when they disclose, we'll be made aware of what their disclosures are and how to best help them. We'll then get in touch to go over what support needs they have and if they have any strategies already in place. From here, we can introduce them to kind of members of staff that they'll be working with, arrange specialist kind of individual bespoke visits for them that are suitable based on their subject area. Also, building that relationship, possibly introducing to kind of other peers that may be starting on the same course as well. And from there, just letting them take control of what helps with them, whether it be locating quiet spaces around the college where they can use, meeting key members of staff that they can go to when they do feel like they're being overwhelmed, such as the wellbeing team that's available, and then also introducing them to the likes of Sean and Miranda, the specialist tutors, who can help that academic side. So putting in, whether it be exam arrangements or academic strategies for them to build their independence and grow within the college setting. And then from the likes of me, it's more a case of, it can sometimes be just a safety net, someone to check in with, but it can also be building those kind of social strategies and kind of navigating your way through kind of college and finding ways to prevent from being too overwhelmed by certain things that you may struggle with in the past. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think I got from there if you are autistic and you are joining us, hopefully you are in September, then rest assured that there are plenty of opportunities for you. It's not just the support, there's opportunities as well. And I think one of the great things is that we do celebrate, again, we really celebrate autism, and we provide opportunities, don't we, for those social interactions. And I know I'm sitting here today, this evening at our Yale site, and we've got a fantastic inclusion centre where if you're autistic or if you just have some social communication concerns, then you can come and spend your lunch times, have your lunch, and be in a space that's perhaps not as busy as the canteen, but still provides that social opportunity. And I think...
Sorry, Lizzie. I was just going to say, the student voice team kind of often use the inclusion centre as well to base some groups out of as well. So they often do kind of like Warhammer groups or chess groups as well, which they encourage kind of students to come along to. So yeah, it's a nice safe space to kind of get some social interaction and kind of build those skills if you want, or just be left alone with your headphones on.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Wherever you are, on whatever site, we will always work with you to find a space that suits you. So we know that it's not just about when you're in class. Actually, sometimes we just need somewhere out of class that we feel comfortable in, and everybody's different and everyone needs a different type of space. So we'll work with you on that and make sure that you've got what you need so that you can go back in after your lunch break or your morning or afternoon breaks, feeling really refreshed and looking forward to your lessons. So again, the more you talk to us, the better it is. So again, just a reminder at the bottom of the screen, it should be coming up, learning.support@cambria.ac.uk. Please send us any questions that you may have, or just get in contact if you'd like to come and meet our team. But if you've just joined us this evening, then welcome to our StreamYard live event. Tonight we're talking about all things inclusion. That's equality and diversity, mental health and wellbeing, learning support and specialist support. And we're really glad you've come and joined us. And hopefully we're definitely answering some questions. But if you'd like to know more, then you can always come into the college. We have staff available all summer, or you can email us on the email address that's on the bottom of your screen now. But don't forget, keep your questions coming in. If you pop them on your media device, it will come up for us and we will endeavour to answer them for you. So moving on some of our other questions that we've had in. I have anxiety and I'm worried about coming to college. Is there any support available to me beforehand? Carly, would you be able to answer that one?
Yes, so I'm the Mental Health and Wellbeing Transition Officer. So I work with learners before they come into college in September doing bespoke transitions. So I usually help learners that are feeling really, really anxious about starting. We'll go through some of the worries, see what our areas are feeling anxious about, and see how we as a college can best support them. I also work closely with the ALN team because some people their issues do overlap. So sometimes we need more than one person to support them. So we work with ALN as well to help them. We've got the wellbeing assistants located at each of the sites. And we also have the wellbeing hubs as well that people can go to if they're feeling overwhelmed or anxious.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Carly. So again, if you want some support, if you are feeling anxious and you'd like to, I think there's some activities that you're doing over the summer, isn't there as well, Carly?
Yes, so I'm bringing some of the new learners in the struggle with mental health in the summer, and I'm going to group them with small groups. So hopefully with the people on their courses, they get to have a nice little wellbeing day, get to meet some of the peers and some of the key members of staff.
Brilliant. So if you are worried, if you are anxious, or perhaps maybe you've been having support for your mental health whilst at school, then please do get in touch, come and have a chat to us, or just let us know how you would like us to support you. And if you can contact us, I think if we can, we'll try and get the email address up on the screen, but it's wellbeing@cambria.ac.uk. That is wellbeing@cambria.ac.uk. And I think we will pick those emails up every day, don't we, Carly?
Yeah, we look at that inbox daily. So we will get back to you very, very quickly and hopefully be able to answer any queries you've got. So there's so much going on, and hopefully it's making you realise that we provide a huge amount of support here at Coleg Cambria, and that's because we really genuinely want everybody to succeed, and we want Cambria to be the most inclusive environment it can be, so that no matter who you are, you feel that you feel included in our college community. So moving on to some of the other questions. This is a very specific one, actually. So we've had somebody contacted us who has dyslexia and is interested about what support they can get whilst they're at the college. So Sean, would that one be okay for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, in terms of getting support around dyslexia, as Lizzie said throughout, really, we have a massive sort of attitude towards neurodiversity, which is celebrating strengths and really taking a strength-based approach to neurodiversity. So as part of that, we have got some really good training in place for staff to engage with CPD. So they can support you in class. You also have specialist tutors like Miranda and I on each site as well to support you. So that can be one-to-one sort of specialist strategies to help you. We have assistive technology in other classes as well. And it could be things like exam access arrangements, so extra time, a reader, anything like that too. So we have got lots and lots of help around, a range of support needs around dyslexia.
That's fantastic. And just to reassure you, many of our staff are also dyslexic, and we support staff as well. And it's not just that, but it's really important, as I said earlier, that we have our whole community. We celebrate neurodiversity, and therefore many of our staff are neurodiverse. So you will find as well that staff are very comfortable in talking about dyslexia, ADHD, dyscalculia, dyspraxia. You'll find that everyone's really comfortable and has an understanding of it. So please be reassured if you're joining us in September. So just a reminder, keep your questions coming in. Please do type them into your device and just anything you might be wondering about, anything you're nervous about. We know what it's like coming to college. Even I can remember, and I'm getting on a fair bit, but I do remember how worrying it can be. And so if you've got any questions, Or alternatively, if you don't feel comfortable asking us the question here on live StreamYard, then you can contact us at the college. You can contact us on learning.support@cambria.ac.uk. You can phone the college, our phone number. Hopefully that will be available as well. You can phone the college and get in touch with us. Hey, that's fantastic. As if by magic. I'd like to say I've got a magic button, but it is just picking it up. So you can phone us or you can come in. We've got staff in colleges right throughout the summer, so you can come in and have a chat to us. We'd be more than happy to welcome you to have a talk to us. Okay. Oh, and I should just say as well, we also have British Sign Language interpreters, translators available as well. So if you would like to have that support, please do get in contact and we will make sure that they are available for you for translation. Okay, moving on to more of the questions that are coming through. This is a really good question. And actually, I think it's something that comes up a lot with our with new students coming in. Will the support at college be like the support at school? Who wants to take this one? Nia, do you want to have a go at this one?
Shall I take this one?
You take this one.
Great question. I think when you are ready to leave school and move on to college, I think one of the things you could be thinking of is it going to be like school? Am I going to be able to be independent? Do I have to have somebody with me? So we'll just reassure you tonight that it is different to school. We're coming to college as young adults. And that's how you'll be treated. So although we're talking about all the support that is offered at Coleg Cambria, it's done in a way that suits you and what's going to support you best. So we don't have teaching assistants like you have in school. So our learning support are learning support assistants. So they're there to make sure you're settled to learn, but can also withdraw. So you're not going to have somebody kind of sat by you. You're an adult, you'll be responsible for your own learning. You'll have chosen a course that you want to do, as opposed to being in school and doing all the things that we have to do. So you'll be choosing an area in which you're passionate about and want to learn more about. And our support will be there to help you on that journey in a way in which you like and a way in which you need. So that's the biggest difference. You'll be treated like the young adults you are. And it's really exciting.
Thank you, Nia. I think that's a really great answer. Yeah, and we're here for that, for every stage of that journey. If you want us, but you might not want any support. You might want to be completely independent, but we're here to support that as well. So that's the aim. So anyone else want to add anything more about, is the support like school? No. Okay, Alice, actually sorry, I'm rambling a bit here, but I'm just thinking, what about the whole, because equality and diversity, that approach, it's not always in schools. Obviously, they work in a way in which equality and diversity is celebrated, and they have a duty to support everybody under the Equality Act. But I don't know whether they do as much as perhaps we do in college around celebrating diversity.
Yeah, I think like Nia just said, this is like you're treated as an adult now. So we treat you for who you are, and as you figure out who that is and what that looks like to you, we're here to support you on that journey. So we do a lot of celebrations around various communities, looking at like the key events throughout the year, but also just celebrating the diverse community we have here at Coleg Cambria. And I think a lot of our students do find that this is, if they've not had the best time at school, which does happen sometimes, they feel a lot more included here and like they're able to be who they are.
Brilliant. And while Alice, sorry, before you pop your mute back on, as well, I think we've got some mature students here on the StreamYard Live with us this evening. Can you talk a bit about how the experience might be for mature students coming into the college?
Yeah, so obviously it can be very different joining as a mature student, and it can easily feel like, oh no, I'm surrounded by a lot of people that are a lot younger than me. But we've set up a mature students association, so you can meet people that are closer to your age and kind of talk about what that experience is like. At the end of the day, Coleg Cambria is for everyone, and we do have quite a diverse range of students on an age basis as well. So actually, while in theory it might feel a bit daunting, once you get here, you probably will realize that it's actually not quite what the picture in your mind is. And there's a lot more mature students here, and they're willing to kind of talk to you and support you through that.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, just a reminder, you're live on our StreamYard event. If you would like to get in touch or know more about our equality and diversity, then it's equality and diversity at cambria.ac, or learning dots if you want to know about support, learning.support at cambria.ac.uk. I'm trying to catch it as it's going on. And a reminder, please, if you've got any questions, please do send them in. Type them into your device and we will endeavour to answer them. If you don't really want to ask us any questions, or you might actually think of one later on and think, oh, I wish I'd asked that. Don't worry, that's what we're here for. You can contact us tomorrow, the next day, or maybe not the weekend, but why not? Why not? And we will get back in touch with you. We will have a chat to you, and we will try our very best to answer your questions. And if we can't answer them, we know everyone else in the college. We work very closely as well with our other support services, with our academic skills teams, with our progress coaches, and with student services. So moving on, we've had more questions in. Oh, we've got one here about exam access arrangements. Quite an important thing, especially if you're doing a course that's heavily based in exams, can be really important. Everyone might not actually be sure what an exam access arrangement is. Miranda, would you be able to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so it's a question that comes up every year, and basically, if when you do your GCSEs, if you needed maybe a smaller space to do your exam in, maybe you had extra time for your exam, or you might have had a reader, then any sort of arrangements like that for exams, they have to be put into place officially. And the problem is that when they're done in school, they don't follow with you, and they actually end when you finish at school. So when you come to college, if you let us know, then we can make sure that that gets put into place, ready for your next exam that's going on. We can also discuss it with your teachers and make sure that any mocks, any work that you're doing in class, that we're making sure that that's your normal way of working. So working with you to make sure that you're achieving your potential, and making sure that you're not having to be put in a position that's not going to help with your grades or your marks. And the exam access arrangements make sure that you get those highest grades that you can possibly achieve.
So can everybody get exam access arrangements? How do you decide whether people have it or not?
The exam access arrangements are there for those people who are not achieving their potential, even though they can. So if you had maybe a computer for your exams, and you had to use a computer to type your responses because maybe maybe handwritings are difficult for you, or maybe there's a physical disability there that prevents you to be able to write for a long period of time, then that exam arrangement will be put in place. So one of the key things when you come is actually bringing that information with you. So that could be your medical evidence to say that there is a difficulty there, or it could be that you ask your school if you can have a copy of the exam arrangements that you've had, and then you just hand that in to Sean or myself or one of the team, so that we can make sure that we follow that up and just have that discussion with you. You may feel that actually you don't want to use those. Well, as long as we've got those details, then later on, if anything changes, or if you go on a different course, then we've got those, and we can make sure we've got that ready in case you do change your mind.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Miranda. Because we wouldn't want any, if you are put off some of the courses because it's got exams, well, hopefully that's reassured you that actually it doesn't need to be a barrier, because we can make those adjustments here at the college, and we will make them with you. So thanks for that, Miranda. Moving on, what are the, is another one that sort of actually you've just touched on here, Miranda, but actually it's a little bit more in depth. Somebody's asking, what is assistive software and how can it help me? Sean, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a college, we want you to be as prepared as we can for independence, and every single class typically will be using Chromebooks as part of that learning experience, and computers. So assistive software that we offer would be able to help you with things like, and as I sort of said before about dyslexia, around reading. So you can press play and the computer will read out loud to you all the content on the screen. You can also speak to it and it will type exactly what you say. You can use screen masking, and that's like a coloured overlay for people who might experience visual stress and might sort of struggle to read black text on white backgrounds. So we have loads and loads of bits to help you. There's loads of extensions which we might recommend as well to help you with your spelling, your grammar, and also your focus, concentration, and things like that as well. If you are worried about having use of a computer or taking that home, like how are you going to do your work at home? Again, we can offer that as an option as a college, and you can borrow one of the Chromebooks and use that at home for your work as well. So as Miranda said, it's part of your normal way of working in college, and then we can make sure you've got all the support around that to make you as independent as possible, really. But that's available to everybody.
Thanks, Sean. That's great. And just to reassure everybody, or to in case you're wondering, Sean isn't a master ventriloquist. I think there was a delay with his words and his mouth. And sadly, no, ventriloquism isn't his special skill. I think it's something to do with the computer. But
sorry, it must be not my skill. Sorry.
But not to worry. At least we got the answer. We'll just have to get Sean a puppet so that he can actually use that. But no, that's great. So I think you answered that really clearly. Again, if you've got any questions, just get in touch with us. You know, we can tell you more about it. You can contact us through learning.support@cambria.ac.uk, or you can phone us on, well, I'm going to try and remember the number, 0300 3030 007. So please do get in contact. And actually, there's quite a bit of information on the website as well. So if you want to have a look on there and find out a bit more, it's www.cambria.ac.uk. So if you are joining us, we are coming near to the end of our questions, but that we've had sent in, but we've still got a few left. But you're here live on our StreamYard event where we're talking about all things inclusion. That includes equality and diversity, mental health and wellbeing, specialist support and learning support. And we're here joined with our bunch of panel members who are all experts in their field. And Sean being an expert in ventriloquism, I think, as well. So, sorry, his laugh's a bit delayed. No, it's absolutely fine, so long as we can hear you. Anyway, we've had some questions in. Thank you for sending in your questions. Please do send through any of your questions or get in touch at a later date. So we've got a question here around somebody's told us they're a wheelchair user and they're wondering about accessibility. So that's a really good question, isn't it, Nia? Is that one that you can answer?
Really good question, and really important as well, to make sure that you can access, everybody can access college life. So all of our sites are wheelchair accessible. We've got a range of equipment around all of our sites that can help you, including kind of equipment, specialist equipment in bathrooms like wash and dry closet mat toilets. There's entrances and access that's, you know, suitable for wheelchair users. So there's buttons on the wall and things like that. So you can, you know, even if using your hands might be, you know, a struggle for you, we've got elbow buttons. And then in terms of kind of support, if maybe we need a bit more support to kind of move around, that's where learning support can kind of help you out. So if getting around is kind of a struggle for you, then, you know, again, come in, have a chat, contact us, and we'll make sure that we can put the support in place. But in terms of access, our college is super inclusive, and we want everybody to get round and feel comfortable in whatever it is you're doing.
Okay, so if communication's a barrier as well, we do have support workers. Can you tell us a bit more about that role, please, Nia?
Yeah, sure. So we've got communication support workers who work across our sites. And I know before, Lizzie, you mentioned about British Sign Language. So that's one of the things that they can help you with. So if you are a learner who needs support with sign language, we can do that. But they can also support in lots of different ways in terms of if you use any specialist equipment, like a Roger mics or anything like that, hearing aids, we can help you and support you with all kind of things in terms of battery changes, making sure you're linked in with the hearing loops, which are all around all of our sites. You know, making sure they will do the linking, if you like, between yourself and your tutor. So if you're not quite confident enough yet to ask the tutor how we can make this better for you, the communication support we can build that gap and have a good chat with you, and then feed back to your tutor in terms of, it might be that you might need to sit at the front, you might need to see people's lips. So as well as delivering sign language, they can help with all other things communication, so that you can join in and learn.
That's absolutely brilliant. And I'm sure if you joined us this evening and you are coming into college in September, I'm hoping that you're feeling really reassured about the amount of support that's available. As you've probably heard, that we are here. That's our whole job, and our whole purpose for being is about actually making sure that you have everything you need so that you have that equal opportunity and will enjoy every aspect of your college journey when you come in September. Or it might be next September. I'm not sure. But if you're considering Coleg Cambria, then please do know that we take inclusion incredibly seriously, and we will endeavour to provide whatever you require. Okay, we've got just a couple of more questions that are coming through. Oh, Carly, I think you did answer that one really about support coming into college. Just a reminder of people, if you have mental ill health or anxiety, can you just remind people about how they would contact you and what support you can provide, please?
Yes, so most of the people, when they've got mental health, have disclosed on application. So I will have a list of them coming through on every Monday, and I am working with to contact all of those. But if you haven't disclosed already, please send an email to wellbeing@cambria.ac.uk, and I'll be more than happy to arrange a chat or email with you and discuss what support's available and how we as a college can help you.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Carly. Thanks, that's great. And just to reassure you as well, whilst you're at college, we have, over the last few years, really, the college has really invested in that wellbeing support. So not only are you going to get support on your transition into college, but also while you're here, we have wellbeing assistants zoned to your area. So whatever course you're on, there'll be a wellbeing assistant who's there to support you. And we also have a mental health and wellbeing practitioner. We have resilience coaches, and we also have college counsellors. So counsellors, you can book in and have counselling if that's what you require, but talk to us about it. There's no shame in requiring support for mental health, and we have everything you will require to make that journey a little easier for you. Okay, so Oh, here's a good question. I think probably one that Alice, I would hope you'd be able to answer this one. Do you have anywhere that I can pray?
Yes, so on all of our sites we have prayer spaces where learners can go and pray. On our bigger sites we have dedicated prayer rooms with all of the kind of facilities that you may need for that. But we also have a college-wide chaplain who's available to kind of talk to you about that more spiritual side of what it means to, connect to that. So that's available to you on all the sites, and he covers all the sites as well.
That's brilliant. Sorry, I missed that a bit. Sorry, Alice. Available every site, did you say?
Yeah, all sites have dedicated prayer spaces where you can go.
Excellent. Okay. And what about diets, and what happens during Ramadan, for example?
What do you mean by that question?
No,
Sorry.
I'm just
Generally.
thinking, I'm pre-guessing the person who's asked the question. They may also have some additional dietary needs, or for example, they might be fasting at certain periods of the year. And we know that it can affect the way in which you
definitely work. So our staff are very aware of how when you're going through Ramadan, how that may impact on your experience as a student and your ability to concentrate in lessons, or your need to go out and pray at the certain times of the day. So that is something that staff are aware of and something that you're able to do. And obviously we want to create an inclusive culture for everybody. So if you are undertaking Ramadan and you need to make those alterations to your learning, that is something that you're able to do.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Alice. That's very reassuring, I'm sure. And it goes back to saying what we said at the start. We aim to be a fully inclusive college. So we celebrate diversity, and we will be here. We want to listen to you. You're the people it's our students who guide us in what we need to do next, or where there might be any gaps. And we will work with students to make sure, and with our learners to make sure, that we provide everything so that you have total equality of opportunity here at the college. So we're nearing the end, sadly, but I've just had a question in that I think is really, really valid, and it's about whether we are a trauma-informed college, and or do we plan to be. So I'm going to pass that over to Sean, because I know, Sean, you've been doing a huge amount of work in this area. So are you able to talk about that a little bit?
Hi, yeah, I hope I'm not too out of sync. Fingers crossed I'm not too far out. So some of the work we've been doing does align to having a whole setting, which is trauma-informed in every aspect, from leaders and senior management to the classroom to everything for everybody. And that really ties into the work that Carly's been saying about around the transition support and the support while you're in college, and all the different aspects that would entail as well. We've been doing a lot of work with Public Health Wales and different teams and organisations, both in nationally, so in Wales, and some of the local teams in England as well. So yeah, we're really trying to sort of align ourselves to be a whole setting trauma-informed college, which will be amazing.
And so if you've joined us this evening and you're perhaps maybe sitting there at home thinking, what on earth is trauma-informed? I've never heard of that. In a nutshell, Sean, how would you describe it?
It means that we have a culture of kindness, and every single aspect of that resonates with everything that we do. So we're always looking at how we can be supportive and inclusive and kind towards everything, really.
Yeah, and I think for many of you who are thinking of coming and joining us in September, and we don't really know what college is going to be like, I think to know that you're coming into an environment that strives to be kind at all areas, whether that's in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and that's really important to know. And hopefully is reassuring you that that's the way in which we as a college are saying that's who we are and how we want to be. I think it's really key. Okay, well, that's it for the questions that have been coming in. If you do, we have still a few minutes. So if you're sitting there, oh, hi, Clarice. Hi, Clarice. Thanks ever so much. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And you've got a question. Can a previous student like myself rejoin the college with an updated care plan, as hospital has helped me get through my condition? I'm ready to return if that's possible. Well, Clarice, it's wonderful that you are wanting to return at this point, and thank you for your question. I'm going to pop that to Nia, if that's okay. Nia, are you able to have a chat to Clarice?
Yep. Hi, Clarice. Thank you for your questions. You've been with us before in college, so you've kind of experienced all the support that we've been talking about this evening. I think it would be really good if you could kind of identify in kind of which site you'd like to go to, so we could point you in the right direction of the right person to get some support from. So if it's all right, Clarice, we'll remember your message, and we'll get someone to get back in touch with you, if that's okay.
Brilliant. Thanks, Nia. Thank you, Clarice. Thank you for getting in touch, and we will be in touch with you and speak to you a bit more about this. So is that okay? Hopefully that answers your question. So if anybody has any other questions, please do pop them in. Send us your questions. Drop them into your media device. But if not, if you're not sure about asking questions now, please do contact us on lots of different ways, by email, and here we go again, learning.support@cambria.ac.uk, or you can equality and diversity @cambria.ac.uk, or finally wellbeing@cambria.ac.uk. If you don't like emailing, then you can phone us, and you can ring our main line, which is 0300 3030 007. Again, 0300 3030 007. Give us a call and ask to speak to somebody in the inclusion team, and we will speak to you. And if neither of that works for you, I think hopefully we've reassured you, just pop in and see us. And we've got people in, as I've said, we've got staff in, especially wellbeing staff, isn't there, Carly, in all over the summer. So we'll be there to meet with you and have a chat. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in. So I think it's time to draw this. It's been really interesting StreamYard event. And I think especially the filming on Sean's side there, but no, it's been really interesting this evening. I think we've covered a huge amount. Oh, sorry, Kaylee, didn't mean to miss you there. Kaylee, sorry, one last question before we wrap it up. Kaylee, do you accept children who have been home educated? Thank you so much for your question, Kaylee. Who would like to answer that? Nia, you again?
Yeah, so I take that one. Hi, Kaylee. Thank you for your question. Children who have been home educated, yeah, we kind of accept learners who want to come from us in terms of wherever they've been educated before. Is what would be really good if you could get in touch so that we can have a conversation about kind of where you've been up to before and what would be best for you going forward. All of our learners are individuals, so kind of not everybody's story is the same. So yeah, definitely get in touch and we can have a chat about the transition from being educated at home and coming into Coleg Cambria and how that can look for you.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And Miranda, just, you know, if Kaylee hasn't done exams before, is that something that we can support with?
Definitely, it's not something that's unusual within college. We have lots of learners who've come from that sort of background and experience with learning for whatever reason. It's not a problem at all. It just comes through communication really with us, what works, what doesn't work. And we work with your tutors as well. So if we do have exams, then we'll talk to you and get you ready for those exams, and it's not a problem at all.
Brill. And finally, Carly, if Kaylee's feeling nervous because maybe not been in a school environment or a college environment for quite some time, there'll be support there. Is that right?
Yes, so I can help support with that, and I can also introduce to the wellbeing assistants who are all going to be supporting throughout the term time as well.
Yeah. And just to remind you as well, Josh touched upon it before, but we've got some fantastic spaces here at Coleg Cambria, including wellbeing hubs, which are nice quiet spaces, and inclusion spaces where you can actually come for somewhere that's still with people, but in a lot less challenging environments. And that often is for people who have been out of education for a while. They find that those places, just to start off with, are really supportive, and then they can join, going into the canteen and those wider social spaces. So we will work with you whatever you need. So please do get in touch with us, and we'll keep an eye out for your name, and look forward to hearing from you, Kaylee. Okay. I hope you found this helpful this evening. I think the recording will be available for you at a later date. But as we've said lots and lots of times this evening, just get in touch if you'd like to know more. And a final reminder about inclusion is so important to us here at Coleg Cambria. And we want to make sure that you have everything you need so that your journey is not just successful educationally, but also a really enjoyable time for you. So I'd like to say thank you to our panel. Thank you to Sean. Thank you to Nia, Carly. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Alice. And for the marketing team behind the scenes, thank you for giving up your time this evening to talk about all things inclusion. And we hope that it's been informative. I know that I've learned a lot and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you, panel. And we will wish you a nosweta, good evening, have a lovely evening, and hopefully speak to you soon. Good night.